And we're back here at BQC in the still cloudy Sheffield. I am Cornelia Tzana.
And I'm Arkady English. And as someone who used to live in Sheffield, I can tell you that cloudy is its normal setup.
I keep being told that normally it should be warmer by now, just across the board, but I have not been treated to such a weather yet. It's all been rain and clouds so far.
Well, welcome to the UK.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but we don't have rain today, so I'll take that win.
yes, we're watching today the Oxford Mammoths team, who look like they're going to be playing from your left to right in the black and orange, and the Prometheans, who are the second team for the Olympians. They're based up in Manchester and Leeds, and they are in dark blue and playing from your right to left.
It'll be interesting to see how this game goes. There've been a lot of games with pretty high score differences today across the board. But even that has made for some exciting quad ball. One of the previous games was the Raptors versus the Olympians, and that game was very physical and very exciting despite the final score difference. So we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, so I think Mammoths have a reputation for being quite a good physical, hard-driving team. I don't know if they're still playing like that. And the Prometheans can definitely play that way. I'm identifying a couple of really good fast players who can run forever. Like the number 76 you can see lining up to run for the Quaffle, Dylan Jones, stupid fast. And some of their beta lineups really good as well. I don't know my way around the Mammoths team so well.
Our players are lining up, getting ready for brooms up.
Right, the starting procedure is underway.
And running to the quaffle for the Mammoths is Daniel Holmes. Nope, never mind. Thomas Andreu.
And it looks like Prometheans have won both the Squaffle and the contested bludger. So they are going to be setting up their first attack with control.
Mammoth's beater tried to get deep in the opponent's zone, trying to sneak back one of those balls from the beaters, but didn't quite succeed.
Yeah, there's two wily beaters. James Grattan's been playing since way before I joined the sport. And Milo I learn less about, but I think they're very good as well.
Prometheans are all the way in the back going for that shot.
That's no goal called.
But picked up by the chaser up top. Reset has been used by the Prometheans.
So Prometheans setting up their attack quite slow, measured way, just trying to pull Oxford out of position. They've set up quite a compact defence. So just trying to drive it straight through isn't going to work, especially with the sort of profile that Prometheans have right now. Need a bit of a bigger driver to smash through a defence like that.
Beater is standing deep in those hoops, getting ready to switch on either side, and that's a goal.
Yeah, good shot from probably about 8 metres out by the looks of it. It's only a 1 metre radius, 1 metre diameter target, sorry. So it's not the easiest shot.
Oh, a fancy footwork play by the Mammoths beater, who just flicks the ball out of the hands of the Prometheans
yeah,
beater.
I was looking at that, wondering if a referee spotted it. So I'm not entirely sure how illegal that is, but if the referee doesn't see it, it doesn't happen, I guess.
That pass came in a little too hot to the Mammoth chaser behind the hoops and bounced right off.
This is Connor Climo making a drive. He's a good driver, very tenacious player.
And a slap goal!
Lovely goal there by Dylan.
score is currently 1-2.
2-0. Oh, is it? Hang on, 1-2 or is
0-2.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry,
I didn't remember the Mammoths goal.
The wind was playing around with the scoreboard across the way.
Oh yeah. So it is fairly windy today, which is making it feel cold, and can make some of those passes go astray. Now.
Oh, snagged by Prometheans.
Yeah, they wasted their first attack. Great read of the ball, and Dylan Jones just substituting himself out.
And a score through the falling hoop very gently by number 36.
So that's Connor Climo. He's wearing a shirt which doesn't have his name on it, but I happen to recognise him from having been tackled by him many times in my career.
You tend to remember those people.
Yeah. He hits a lot harder than he looks like he should hit. he looks quite wiry and scoring. You think he can't hit me hard, and he does. But yeah, really quick speed of thought there to identify the opportunity to score and take it before it went.
Looks like the ball was hit out of bounds by the Prometheans, so it was back to Mammoths.
Yeah, they were intercepting a pass. Mammoths with another drive. They're probably going to try and drive it in. Now that's what I mean.
Oh, and that's an unfortunate face beat, I believe.
Yeah, so that was Climo again, take him down. You know, I said he hits harder than he looks. So I'm just taking a listen out. So no call is the call. It's decided the beat was legal.
And speaking of hits, we have two-arm tackling happening at this tournament, which is a bit newer here for the UK side of quad ball.
Yeah.
But we've seen some great hits, especially from smaller players to players much bigger than themselves.
Yeah, so this is the first competition, I think, in the UK that has, or the first major competition in the UK run with the two-arm tackling rules. Obviously, teams have been training with it for a while, and also we've got a fairly strong rugby tradition. A lot of players here will have played rugby at some point, where your two-arm tackling is normal.
Oh, looks like there might be a good opportunity for Mammoths driving.
Yep. Driving through, they're going to make that stop, runs past 2 tackles. Chloe tries to take it down, he's run past 3 tackles and scores.
Now that's a drive.
That's a drive. That is the sort of goal I do associate with Mammoths. Get the ball, run fast, run hard, don't get tackled.
And it does look like they have mostly a height advantage on a lot of the Prometheans players as well, which can be pretty helpful.
Yeah, but Prometheans now set up. They've got bludger control, and now they've got no bludgers. So Chloe Durkin with a speculative shot there, facing the press, and is now...
oh no, and a lost broom stops that drive. Looks like there's a call.
Yeah, call from the beta game. The assistant referee seems to be indicating an illegal kick somewhere and pointing at... this looks bad for one of the Prometheans beaters.
Ref is pulling out the cards as he murmurs a hello. It's a yellow card for a dangerous kick for the Prometheans beater.
Yeah. Identified as number 39 despite not having a number. And if anyone's wondering, Matt Bateman is a beater, therefore not used to catching quaffles thrown at him. That's why he dropped that one. Sorry, Matt, if you listen back to this.
All right, Mammoths with the quaffle still.
Yeah, they've gone for the napalm drive on the defence. They've tied up the bludger and scored. And still fighting for the bludgers. There's a second 2 bludgers at the Mammoths end.
A little hug battle going on with the hoops there. But
I think the beater decided to give it up and just go and retrieve the spare bludger at their end.
0-3, not 30.
And the score's now, 30-20.
Shot/pass attempt there by Prometheans and another stoppage.
Yeah, didn't catch what for. He's indicated no goal for something.
I think number 30 might have been beat, the player that was just holding the ball.
Yeah, so just making sure the player doesn't make too much of a play. Mammoths pick up the loose quaffle first, drive through, gets the ball away from the tackle, and more driving. Dropped catch will just make that harder to score. And Olympians, I'm going to keep calling them Olympians because it's an Olympians kit. They are Prometheans, and they are the Olympian second team.
Going for that physicality from the keeper on Mammoths, trying to drive through,
Yep.
and quick pass and done.
That is a great little double tap goal. Or do you have a different name for those in the US?
Just the catch and dish is what they usually call them.
Catch and dish, not yes. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess you drive and dish, we might call that as well. Like just drive through, then dish the ball out at the last minute. I guess it's a double tap goal if both the passes, or the first pass is also a shot.
Okay. I'm learning things about the British vernacular today, folks.
We have some really weird terms. There's one team around who call bludger control domination.
I did catch that today as well.
Which,
oh, great catch by the Mammoths beater there.
Yep.
Oh, and another catch! And takes out the ball carrier.
Yep. Stops the attack in its wake, and Mammoths are now coming back with a counter-attack. What a steal by Dylan, just sneaking up behind the chaser.
I really want to do that someday, just sneak behind and pop that ball straight out.
It's one of the best feelings is when you catch them napping and they're the keeper, just out of the keeper zone.
Yep.
And you just run it straight through for a goal. I've only managed it once.
Oh, we got a beater there hanging on top of the other beater. Doesn't manage to get the bludger, though.
So there's been no bludgers called, so Mammoths are just going to drive this through. Climo gets the tackle down, but the ball's away. And they're driving through. They're just going to try and push this through. Oh, drive and dish. Unfortunately, the catch is a bit hard and a bit too much in her face. There is a foul on the play. I'm guessing that's the tackle from behind from Zach. He arrested his momentum somewhat, but wasn't stopped. No, that's the referee said. Tackle from behind, player was not stopped.
As a reminder, if you are going to tackle someone from behind, you need to have zero momentum. You need to be completely stopped before engaging with them.
I think our rule in the US and IQA is slightly different on that. But I won't get into details. It's to do with how you can take a step. Mammoths attacking again. They could equalise with this attack. He's shaken off an attack, and I think that might be a yellow card for Climo because that tackle looked high.
Yep. That was definitely some neck contact.
Yeah.
And Prometheans already had another chaser in the box who is now coming back in, given the goal that was just scored from the Mammoths, which makes things trickier for them. But still, the score is only 4-3 with Mammoths up by just one goal.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I said it was a tie-in goal, but it's not. It's the go-ahead goal. And now Mammoths lead with Prometheans on the attack, attacking against control. And they
had
failed
it for
to
a
get
second.
control. This is going to be a bit of a... It's always a bit of a panicky attack when you realise your beaters have lost their bludgers. And Mammoths are hitting hard. They're taking out those defensive beaters and just trying to create a big no-bludger situation.
Prometheans are making a lot of hits, a lot of
tackles.
takedowns. Oh, that hoop was brought down.
And referee stopped play for something. I'm going to try and listen to what he says.
Conferring.
He's talking to his ARs, so I wonder if I don't think he can be penalising anyone for knocking that hoop over because basically the defender stood up to make the hit and got knocked backwards into the hoop, right?
Yeah, I don't think it didn't look like it was on purpose. I think it was just part of the scuffle happening around there.
Yeah. Of course, you can't have hoops that are too rigid in a full contact sport.
That's how people get very, very hurt. But yeah, Prometheans have definitely been getting very physical on defense, trying to stop those drives and being successful most of the time.
Yeah, they have some very good tacklers on their team, including a few like who I know. You know, I remember doing tackle. I used to play on the same teams as Dylan Jones, and I remember his running tackle drills with him. He's very effective at picking up that leg and stopping you.
Yeah, and we've seen them bring down some of the bigger players on Mammoths with relative ease.
Yeah, I think the two-arm tackling is really, you can see the smaller players have definitely got a good grasp, pun intended, of that.
Okay, let's see what kind of call.
So he's talking to one of the beaters by the looks, or is that the chaser? No, that's one of the beaters, I think. From where I've sat, I've got a hoop covering his headband. Okay, so they have penalised recklessly dislodging a hoop.
Another yellow card.
I am a bit surprised by that. I didn't think it was necessarily the case. But, you know, I would say Matt's a very experienced referee, so he knows that better than me. And Mammoths go 5-3 up.
And that brings out the other chaser that's been in the box for Prometheans to replace the one that just got out.
And Prometheans have decided to stop and call a timeout. Seems sensible. I think were they, 3-0 up at some point? And now they're 5-3 down. So they've been leaking goals without scoring any, which is not a good way to win.
Yeah, I think Mammoths had a couple of subs that really put those good drivers in and gave them the opportunity to score those goals.
Yeah, because even with the big hits, it's just not easy to stop people while not dropping your broom.
Yep. So hopefully this will stop the Mammoths' momentum that they've started to gather and give Prometheans a chance to regroup.
So what do you think Prometheans need to do to stop conceding?
I think they need to potentially be more aggressive with their press up top, because that's something Mammoths have been doing much more. They've really been going up high much quicker and making those turnovers closer to the midline. I think Prometheans are potentially leaving people to come in a little too close.
Yeah. They seem to be struggling to hold bludger control now as well.
Which makes it trickier.
Yeah, it's so much harder. Because ultimately the best way to stop a big scary driver who's hard to tackle is smack him with a bludger. Dylan, I'm sure your mum says hi back. I don't know if she's watching.
If she's watching, you're doing a great job. I'm sure she's proud. We're about to resume. Mammoths have control of the dodgeballs.
And this is one of those situations that you just drill so much, isn't it? Attacking against control. Looks like they've made a change to the beta lineup. I think that's general.
Long pass by the hoop.
Oh.
And no goal.
Wait.
That was blocked by the keeper.
Yeah. Let's see what Matt's calling there. It was definitely goaltended, but I think that was a legal goaltend.
Might have been a beating.
Might have been
incident?
a beating. Yeah. He's talking to the goal referee by the looks of it. And no good. Yeah, that is what I thought would happen. Because normally for people who aren't familiar with the minutiae of the rules, reaching through to the hoop like that to block the goal, it's called goaltending. You are generally not allowed to do it unless you're the keeper in the green headband, who get a special exception because they're the keeper. Most of the time, it just means the goal's given. Although if you're not a chaser, you get sent off for it. So Although if you're not a chaser, you have no reason to ever reach through the hoop, really.
Yeah, unless you're trying to score.
Well, if you're not a chaser, you're not trying to score.
If you're not a chaser, I clearly didn't learn the rules of quadball in the 7 years I've been playing it.
And then Mammoths have managed to make another no bludger situation, although again, Dylan just in the right place at the right time to catch that pass. And they are swapping keepers over.
It's always dangerous to make that parallel pass right through the tall people's way because they can easily grab it out of the air.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not sure if they had a receiver. They might have just been intimidated by bludgers. Ball goes, oh, good block. Kyle Balderson, I think that is, trying to dab the ball through the hoops from the catch. And the Mammoths beaters are being very aggressive here. Important not to underestimate, I think, really, because we've been talking about their chaser driving game. It is the aggression of the beaters that enables that.
Absolutely. They've locked down that control for most of the game. Score currently is, waiting for the scoreboard to be updated properly.
Looks like it's 60-30.
Yes. Mammoths are leading by 3.
Yeah, and the head referees just confirmed 60-30 as well. So another attack, slow attack, trying to make time for the beaters to do something. Although, yeah, the unarmed beater just got beat out. The armed beater missed, and now it's a press. And that's a
desperate shot pass.
Like a speculative shot, we'll say.
Always better to get that turnover way deep into the opponent's zone than give the easy run, which they seem to have taken anyway. And the player's brought down.
I'm not sure that tackle was legal, but never mind. Goal is given. And we've got a call on the play against Mammoths. Which this could end up retroactively disallowing the goal. We'll have to see what happens. And I'm trying to read their body language.
It looks like they may be discussing beater immunity.
Maybe. They're trying to work out that right scooping motion of the right hand.
That was no call on that play.
No call. Yeah, I'm not sure what was quite said. I heard the referee say if it's dead, it's a problem. But I don't know what he was referring to. Presumably one of the balls. Right. Again, Prometheans slowly setting up their attack.
And they seem to be trying to lean on one side of the field, trying to pull that defense. But the execution didn't quite get there.
Yeah, and the ball's now with Mammoths, who are going to drive back. There's no bludgers on defence. There's not even any chasers on defence now. That's one of the easier goals they'll score.
Score is 8-3, and now Mammoths are really taking off with it.
Yeah. And yeah, there is a strategy, I know, where you kind of pack one side of the field, with the idea being that the beaters can isolate the beater on the other side of the field, right?
Mm-hmm. And you also sort of try and pull the defense to the loaded side.
Yeah.
And ideally, a very close goal opportunity, but
just
protected.
Tipped over.
Yeah, ideally you overload one side and leave the other side chaser open, and that's a goal.
That was a goal. Connor Climo grabbing the loose quaffle, making his drive, and scoring. Something he's very good at. But yeah, I think possibly on the attack, Prometheans, they have control this time. If they send all their chasers to one side and their 2 beaters target the beater on the other side, it splits the beaters, because the beater partner can't come over and defend, right?
Yeah.
Because then they just allow a drive through at the goal.
Yeah, it makes the beaters need to keep looking around in 2 different directions, which is a great opportunity to get them while they're distracted.
Yeah, it gives you, at the very least, create a 2v1 against the beater who's on the side where the ball isn't. And, it's the best way to win control, right, with a 2v1. So I'm hearing a call of back contact from the referee.
Is that another Prometheans player?
I'm not sure at this point. It is. It presumably is, yeah, because he's moving the quaffle back.
Yep, Prometheans back in the box with another player.
And who is it? I don't recognise the players. Looks like number 44. And Mammoths go for, it's not really a reset, but they put the ball back towards the halfway line, have another go at the attack. Didn't come off the pass into the receiver. The receiver, I think, got beat, and the pass intercepted anyway. And now Prometheans walking the ball up, despite bludger control. Looking at what they're going to try and do. They split the beaters very wide, and they're just trying to keep the passing options open. I'm not sure how they're planning to act. They've got a receiver free, a drive through now,
And no
score.
bludgers.
There we are. That was the plan. Wait for the beaters to do their thing. And there's been a foul on the play called. I'm seeing it indicated against Prometheans.
I think it might have to do with the third bludger potentially.
Oh yeah, I wasn't watching for that.
Um,
There's 4 ARs and 2 of us, so they're going to see more than we do.
I believe one of the Promethean speeders, while they had control, took one bludger, threw it back to their side, and then picked up another.
Oh, that's going to be a penalty.
Is what I believe happened, and it looks like they're
Yeah,
claiming.
I can see the Beto going up to the referee saying, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry," but it's a painful penalty giveaway. You turn over both the bludgers and the quaffle, and get sent back to hoops.
Is that goal negated as well?
And the goal will be negated,
Yep.
I think.
So score is still 80-40. Mammoths are up.
And they're looking after control. They're trying to beat them out. They've just created no bludger situations. That ball's gone off pitch.
Some good contact there.
Yeah, it's chaser only defense, and the bludger's in, and the quaffle carries beaten out, and Prometheans have the quaffle again. And that's James Grattan just clearing up for Prometheans.
Mammoth keeper tried to get back in the action there and sneak to the ball, but the beater just cleaned up.
Beater wise to that strategy. And it is Mammoth's control again, so we're going to see the Mammoth's beaters try and make a play. I'm seeing a tackle there. The Prometheans beater gets beat out.
Chaser moving around the back
Pass
towards the keeper.
a little short to their receiver.
Returning
And
it
the
up
ball's
top.
But up top, the Chaser's beat. And
Beater
it's going to
was-
be Mammoth's ball. Drive in, no bludgers.
Oh,
The defender slips
unfortunate
over.
slip.
and gives a salute to the camera.
Just doing it for the spectators.
Yeah.
Beaters are fighting over a ball over on the Promethean side,
Yeah,
and Prometheans win it.
Yeah, the beater decides to go and get the spare bludger that was sat by his beater partner.
Much easier.
Yeah, why fight for one if there's one for free? I guess because it's fun to fight for it, right?
Yeah, but you should probably reserve your energy for a plays that could have more of an impact.
Yeah, probably. So they're trying to gang up on one of the Prometheans, one of the Mammoth beaters, and they've got one bludger tied up, and the beater's now beat out.
That
There's
Prometheans
now
chaser did a full round around the hoops, but
Yeah. Oh, the Grattan getting a little bit tackled from behind there by the looks of it.
just a little bit.
As they both went for the ball, Grattan took it, and then the other beater kind of dived on his back. I think that's what the stoppage has been called for. We'll have to see what the referees say. Yeah, there's a couple of fouls you call there, sliding into contact and back contact, and probably some head contact too.
It looks like one of the
And-
ARs had a pretty clear view of that back
What are they
tackle.
calling?
Matt Bateman calling over his
So there's-
ARs.
there is a foul being... So, yeah. So, James was asking about, is it a foul at the other end of the pitch? James seems to be saying, look, I went down and picked up the ball and then got hit in the back.
Mammoth speeders calling out for a fast break.
They've said no call back to hoops. And they're still talking about it. It looks like there's no call on that play in the end.
Just sending that beater back to hoops.
Interesting. Okay. So it's another Prometheans attack into control. The bludger's been wasted.
And the quaffle has been thrown.
Thrown off the pitch. Looks like the chaser on that side's planning to try and challenge for it. And he gets been beaten out.
I think that was an attempt to prevent a quick drive, but
yep.
Defense took their time getting
Napalm
set up.
comes in, is dodged, and what a beat!
Just lodges the ball.
Despite being midway through being tackled as well, managed to get that beat away and hit the quaffle carrier. And he's making a play for control now, beaten out.
Got a few subs happening on the Promethean side on beaters and chasers.
Yeah, bringing I think it's Gemma Williscroft into the beater lineup. Once again, good block. They're trying to team up on that one beater again. I think the quaffle player is just waiting for the beaters to make their opportunity.
Calling for their ball carrier to move around.
Looks like the attempt to kick a bludger back hits the head referee. And looks like there's no goal on the shot.
That was a good opportunity for that shot. There was a lot of openness around the hoops, but didn't quite make it through the target. Score is 9-40 with the Mammoths leading by 5 points.
Yep. Just looking at who the seekers are. I think Mammoths have some good seekers in their lineup as well. Shot there from Mammoths goes just over. And that's going to give Prometheans the ball back, although they don't have bludger control at the moment. Just trying to spot, their extra beater's at the halfway line. I was just trying to spot where she was in the crowd.
Mammoths once again with control.
And so they're going for the... there's a name for that defence where you just put your point chaser right on the edge of the halfway line, so when the keeper gets there, they're immune to being beat.
Yep, that is a tactic that I think has become a lot more popular in the last couple of years.
Yeah, there's a name for it. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like the Swedish defence or something like that. But I can't. I cannot remember. It was some Scandinavian country.
Interesting. I didn't even know it had a name.
Oh, you know what we're like. We love to give things obscure names over
it's
here.
true. Makes it more fun. There was a goal attempt there. It was very close for the Prometheans, but did not end up working out.
Yeah, and so now Mammoth's back on the attack. They are going against the bludgers. They're not going just to try and drive it in anymore. Measured passes, pull those Promethean players out.
Long pass across, intercepted.
And I say that long pass across is such a instinctive play to make, but it so rarely turns out, doesn't it?
Yeah. There's so many opportunities to for people to get in the way of that.
Yep. Meanwhile, it looks like Prometheans have made a play for control and won it, and lost it again almost immediately.
We also have our flag runner defending against the two seekers right now.
And the seeker for Prometheans has been beat out.
And we have a stoppage of play and a broom that flew very far. Looks like there was a pretty intense hit on number 13. They are getting a sub for injury.
Yeah, that is kind of part of the way Chloe Durkin plays. Very physically aggressive player, and just every now and then
You get the results of
every
that,
now
yeah.
and then you get the results of that. So now it is the Promethean Seeker unopposed, but beat out, and it looks like the sorry, I said Prometheans, I meant Mammoths, but now the Promethean Seeker is going to try and make it a set score game.
Snitch Runner is Bill Orridge.
Yep.
Got a very good grip on the Seeker's broom.
Yeah, this could be a long game because Bill is an exceptionally good Seeker, one of the better ones in this country, and both sets of beaters look to be defending him as well. This isn't a situation where Mammoths are happy to let Prometheans score and take it to overtime.
And grabbing the snitch could put Prometheans in a very good spot to upset the game.
Yeah, he's kind of doing that quite smart tactic of he's defending against the Mammoths, the Promethean snitch, but holding them in between himself and the other snitch. Which is just so infuriating when you're the Seeker trying to get round.
It's absolutely horrible. I think the broom pulling has to be the most frustrating tactic in the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
Mammoths with control.
Yep.
Letting the snitch do the defending against the Seeker and focusing on the quaffle game now.
I mean, this is a good enough snitch, you can do it. A snitch appears to have an arm lock on the Seeker and just casually puts them on the floor, takes their broom.
And that's a score for Mammoths in the meantime.
Yeah, it must have been a counterattack because last time I looked at the quaffle,
it was all the way in the other half.
Prometheans defending. You kind of get that at this point of the game because Prometheans are going to have to defend the snitch, right? If Mammoths get it, they lose, and they've got no chance to come back. So they want the 3 points, but they also need to make sure that they don't allow the other team to catch.
Got a new Seeker in for Prometheans.
Yep.
In a death grip around the wrist from the snitch.
And trying so hard to keep hold of that broom, not quite managing. Meanwhile, who's still got the quaffle? It looks like Mammoths have taken the quaffle now, and they are slowly making an attack. At this point in the game, attacks will get slower. They've just started sprinting right as I say that. Of course they do.
Managed to get that pass out, protected by the keeper, by the beater, and then choose to take that reset.
And now they're driving in. There's no bludgers in the Prometheans' defense because it's guarding the snitch. Dylan Jones, great interception once again. I think that's like the 4th time I've called him out for, for one of those.
Yeah, that was, I think, a bit of a panic throw from the Mammoth chaser that got caught up in the back there without much support or outlets.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the bludger situation right now is that Prometheans are defending the hoops with both their bludgers, and Mammoths are, and Prometheans have got their one bludger defending the snitch.
Dive from the Mammoth Seeker and the Promethean Seeker that both end up on the ground. And it looks like we have
a stoppage
an injury.
Is that's number 30, that's Chloe Durkin again. Oh, meanwhile, one of the Prometheans practices handstands.
It looks like the previous hit might have taken a more long-term toll, and that second hit really took the Prometheans chaser out.
Yeah, unfortunately, from where we're sat, we kind of had the snitch game in between us and what happened. But it looks like she's holding one of her legs. I do know she's had some problems with, I think, ankle injuries in the past. So maybe that's flaring up.
Score is currently 100 to 40. Mammoths are up by 6 goals.
And we've got the medical team. That's from Epion. I'm never quite sure how I'm meant to pronounce that name. A lot of people say Epion is the name of our ambulance services here.
Who have been around for a few tournaments in a row now.
Oh yeah, they've been covering us for years.
Amazing.
But I sometimes want to pronounce it a peony because a peony was the Greek goddess of health, so is where they get their name from. But everyone seems to say Epion, and it just annoys anyone who studied Greek mythology, right?
Well, I'm Greek, born and raised, so
Oh, so
I get it.
You get it.
All right, it looks like we have an injury sub.
Yeah, that's Zach Cox coming on to replace Chloe Durkin. And having some chat with one of the Mammoths defenders. I think those two used to play on a team together. There's a lot of players who used to play on teams together here. Meanwhile, referees checking everything's ready to go.
Mammoth Seeker is conferring with some of their teammates on what the strategy is.
Yep.
And our snitch is still, he doesn't even seem like he's short of breath. He's just
he's ludicrous. He's so difficult to catch.
out for a walk in the park for him.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch his style, he's very, very energy efficient. He'll kind of get a massive grip of one or both of your ankles, wrists, other limbs, and just hold you there and use no energy while you use all your energy to try and get out.
Cleaning out that Seeker
Yep.
to give the Promethean Seeker some more time alone with the snitch.
Yep. Trying to go for that through the legs catch. Do you have the same nickname for the through the legs catch in the USA as we do in the UK?
I don't think so. Sounds like you guys have a lot more nicknames for things.
Do you have a nickname for the through the legs catch?
No.
We call it a 90-point catch.
Interesting. Okay.
You can probably work out why.
Yeah. And that's another goal for Mammoths, bringing the score 11-4.
Yep.
This will probably be a long game.
Yeah, especially if the snitch is being defended. Oh, the Promethean Seeker dismounts themselves, and I think the Mammoth Seekers, gets beat.
Meanwhile, there's a very long pass from behind the hoops from the Promethean side. Doesn't find its target, but they managed to
reset it.
Reset it.
That was nearly a goal. Long shot, nearly got through. Just inches over. And that's a stolen broom from the snitch again, or flag runner, should really be calling them.
Oh, that was so close. That Seeker had his fingers on the flag.
Mammoth seems to have put some bludger, or a bludger now, into buying themselves some time on the snitch. I think they don't want a really long game either. I mean, the Mammoth's attack with the quaffle hasn't come to anything.
Really going for that under the leg reach.
Yeah, the 90-point catch.
90-point catch, but without any luck so far. Although very, very close call.
Yeah, it looks like the Mammoth Seeker has a little bit of a height advantage over the flag runner, which might be able to make work for him because it's close there. Wily defense.
And it looks like Prometheans also scored a goal. We are at 11-5.
Yeah.
But another quick drive, an unfortunate mishap on the pass there, and Prometheans get the ball again.
Didn't find their target. They're resetting, they're slowing it down because their Seeker is time against the snitch right now, which is what they want.
Promethean Seeker has been in for a while as well. Compared to the Mammoths that have switched.
Well, they keep beating out the Mammoth Seekers. There's a lot more shuttle runs there,
True.
isn't it? Do you seek ever?
I've dabbled a couple of times.
Because when you're trying to seek and the other team have good bludger defense, you're just doing shuttle runs between your hoops and halfway.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah, exhausting.
And I've seen some defensive Seekers that have been thrown in and have just been impossibly good with running back and forth.
I mean, well, Prometheans have been penalised. One of their seekers has been penalised for delay of game, which is one of those quite broad fouls, just not letting things happen as fast as the referee would like. And Prometheans are on the attack again. And looks like, are they going to score this one? Good tackle.
Lots of good hits from Prometheans still.
Yeah. I mean, well, the seekers don't look any closer to the flag,
Nope.
really.
Let's see, it looks like the most success or the closest they've come to success on the Promethean side with scoring has been those longer shots. Although they don't quite make it through the hoop, they do go pretty uncontested around the hoops.
Yeah. Well, trying to make the pass. I mean, I know because I've known what their drills are. There is a strategy they have of having someone run into the hoop right as you shoot. The idea being they can catch it if it doesn't go through, but the receiver there not quite on the wavelength, and the Prometheans counterattack scores.
That chaser was ready for that drive and was hanging out by the hoop, waiting for the ball to come her way.
Meanwhile, the Promethean seeker is uncontested right now, although the Mammoth seeker shows up right as I say that. And
another goal for Mammoths. Now they have taken off. Scores 130 to 50. Promethean seeker is taking a moment to breathe while the Mammoths are subbing in a fresh seeker.
Which is really not the time to take a moment to breathe.
Unfortunately, no. But
I don't think there is ever a moment to take a moment and breathe as seeker. But wrist lock again from the flag runner.
Prometheans take the control on the beater side.
Yep, and immediately put out the Mammoth seeker. We've got a stoppage again.
It looks like the keeper who just scored, I would say, was very much beat by the Prometheans beater, but let's see what the refs call.
Yeah, might be discussing that.
Sometimes I wish commentators and spectators could chime in with what they saw, you know?
Yep.
Goal is no good, beat before.
Yep. I mean, well, actually, this is the time for the seeker to be taking a break, right?
Yep.
I noticed the Promethean seeker just like lying on the ground through the stoppage, and that is the time. Meanwhile, we're coming up to second handicap, which I think means he's got to stay within 1.5 meters of that midline. Which, to be fair, he's not really been.
He hasn't really moved, yeah.
He's barely moved from where he is. Got another grip on the Promethean seeker. Again,
deep pass remains in the hands of the Prometheans, and that's a goal. They managed to get that quick shot in.
Yep.
Score is 130 to 60.
They're still looking for the goal. We're on to second handicap. So they're saying it's the one-armed handicap. So the flag runner will now only be allowed to use one arm to defend it. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of seekers tend to try and go and attack round the side with the arm that's allowed to defend. That was very nearly a good catch on the half turn. But I always felt surely you go around the other side.
I mean, no matter what you do, when you have a snitch that just manhandles you this way, oh, great spin opportunity again.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's like you've got to break that defense and get behind their grip.
Mammoth Seeker tagged back into the hoop so hard, toppled over the hoop. Meanwhile,
Promethean score again.
Seeker and Promethean scored.
And yeah, Prometheans have bludger control. Are they going to stop this goal? Nope.
Nope.
They put both bludgers up on the snitch.
Score is 140 to 70 for Mammoths.
Yep. And it looks like Mammoths have taken bludger control as well now. In fact, the third bludger's on the ground in their half, so they really have advantage here.
Oh, a very, very scary turn of the snitch
Yep.
between the Seekers
Yeah,
and Mammoth
Darth gets
keeper.
caught. Meanwhile, Mammoths making another run against almost uncontested hoops.
It looks like Prometheans are starting to run a little low on gas, and they
Yeah.
don't have as much hustle in them to get back on defense once that turnover happens.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a smaller squad, and especially compared to Mammoth, they've got quite a small squad. And yeah, they're running a very energetic game.
In a very, very physical game, as
Yeah.
we've seen. They've really put that energy into the hits. Beater pressing the ball carrier.
I mean, they're still defending the snitch as best they can. They clearly want an overtime game.
We got
And
that Mammoth chaser really
They're
pressing around the
driving
ball.
through, but the beater's on them.
Beater cleans up.
They managed to keep the quaffle quite well. Meanwhile, no one on the snitch for a moment, on the flag runner for a moment. I will get that term wrong. We changed it only fairly recently.
And Grattan has really been sticking
Yeah.
around the snitch, keeping those Mammoth Seekers running
Right.
back and forth.
Yeah. However, I'm just looking at the time. I may have to abandon this because I'm actually meant to be refereeing on another pitch in a moment. So I may have to leave you to it. Are you happy for me to do
It's
it?
okay, I'll allow it.
All right. Well, have a fun game.
Thank you
And-
for joining us today, and best of luck with reffing.
All right. See you later.
All right, we got a much taller Seeker for the Mammoths attempting to go over the snitch without much luck. Meanwhile, Prometheans are with the quaffle, moving the ball around. Mammoth chasers are pressing up quite high, and that shot actually goes in, and that's a goal for Prometheans. Prometheans beater keeping the Mammoth Seeker at arm's length. Score is 150 to 80. Mammoths are up. Mammoth's keeper goes for that pass, and that shot is no good. Bounces off the base of the hoop, and it looks like it was going to be a fast break, but the Mammoth beater is lurking on their side, waiting for the chance to take back that ball. Mammoth Seekers still sprinting back and forth from hoops thanks to the Prometheans beaters. Prometheans were not able to capitalize on that last possession. Mammoths have the volleyball, and it looks like there's a stoppage of play for a ref call. Looks like it's a card on the Mammoths keeper. It was a yellow card for the Mammoths keeper for illegal contact to the neck. Prometheans have seen their fair share of cards this game. They had, for a while, they had a rotation of chasers going through the box, and Prometheans used that call turnover opportunity to score after narrowly avoiding a beat. Current score is 150 to 90. Seekers are not much closer to catching that snitch. Mammoths going around the side towards the back of the hoops, looking for that pass, intercepted once more by the Prometheans chaser. Looks like they have an opportunity. Bludgers were down, but Mammoths have a bludger once more, going for the shot, and that is no good. Prometheans have had a lot of wide open shot opportunities that they've taken, but haven't quite managed to get them through the hoop. But those seem to go fairly uncontested from the people protecting the hoops on the Mammoth side. Mammoths went for that shot a little too high, bounces off the top of the hoop. Looks like Prometheans are subbing their seeker. Their seekers have been doing pretty long stints of going toe-to-toe with the snitch and essentially being wrestled to the ground. But that might be just a little better than the sprints that the Mammoth seekers are forced to run thanks to the persistence of the Prometheans beaters. Beater pressing high up with the ball, going for that pass. Doesn't quite work out. The beater on the Prometheans is there to protect the ball, fights with the beaters, and Mammoths have bludger control. Going for that pass to the back, but is way too high and long, does not find its target. And it is back to Mammoth hands for the quaffle. Mammoths have control on the beater side. Their seeker still has not had too much opportunity to go against the snitch. A very close opportunity there. Oh, and a very dangerous turn of the snitch between the seekers once more. That is such an opportune time to snatch the flag once the flag runner is turning his back. Mammoth still with control, scores 160-90, and that is what is seemingly a good clean catch by the Mammoth seeker after many, many attempts and many, many sprints back and forth to the hoops. The catch looked clean from our end. We'll see what the refs decide, but that will finish up the game with the Mammoths taking the win. Current score is 160-90. The refs are discussing amongst themselves to ensure that the catch was good. And it was called good, and that is a win for the Mammoths. Final score is 190-90. This was a pretty exciting game, although it didn't go as the Prometheans would have hoped. They really put a lot of work and effort and physicality into the game, stopping drive after drive, and taking a ton of shot attempts at the hoops. Unfortunately, a lot of their passes and ball movement didn't quite translate as well as they would have hoped. But they managed to keep making those hits the entire time, even with their smaller squad. So thank you all for tuning in for this game, and we'll be back shortly with the next round here at BQC.